So I've been thinking about something that's related to my own childhood. When I was a kid, I had anxiety back then, and my mom treated me like shit because she didn't know how to handle it, and she ended up making it worse by threatening to beat me and emotionally, mentally, verbally abusing me my entire life. She still does, even though we don't really talk anymore. So I wanted to say, if you want kids in the future, if you just found out that you're going to be a parent and you're not really sure if you want to keep it, whether you want to, go through with the pregnancy, or you're thinking about maybe going through and adopting out and not having to deal with it, before you decide to have that child in your life in any way, ask yourself what you would do if it ended up being something that you would consider broken. If you have a kid and it has anxiety or it has depression or anything else, or it's schizophrenic or it has autism or it's gay or it's trans, what are you going to do? How are you going to treat that child? If you have that kid and it ends up being something that you can't stand, what are you going to do? Because if you're just going to treat it like shit and make it worse, do not have that child. Get an abortion, or at the very least, put it up for adoption and don't contact it. And then there's even some people who, if they have a kid that's a liberal, will treat it like shit because they're conservative. Don't have a kid if you're gonna hate it if it doesn't agree with you. Don't have a kid if it's not exactly like you, if you're gonna hate it. It's just a thing. I swear to God, my mother wanted to have a child. She thought she was gonna do great. She thought she knew exactly what not to do because of her own upbringing. But she ended up just destroying basically any chance I had at having a normal life and having a decent childhood. And she doesn't care. She likes to half apologize and blame it on things that are not related to that. But because she doesn't want to take any responsibility for making my life suck, at least back then, and kind of now because of her making me worse. So, before you consider it or before you keep it, ask yourself if you're going to abuse your child because you don't agree with it, or because you can't handle it being a little bit more difficult to deal with than a child without any disorders or disabilities. If you couldn't handle having anything other than a straight white Christian Republican neurotypical boy, you probably shouldn't reproduce, because you probably won't have that, and you're going to treat it like shit, and it's going to hate you if it lives long enough to keep hating you into adulthood. Just don't do it. Thanks.